the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. One of the most notorious in the YouTube anime and manga community. Don't doubt the infamy, please. And some of y'all be just scratching your head, looking. What? I'm not reading this right. Wonder doing a Bleach discussion video? Yes, indeed. And in fact, this video's been coming for a while now. I'm glad I waited for a bit. Things kept coming up and whatnot, right? Got tired and all that, but y'all don't really care. Y'all want to hear about what this discussion video is about. It started when Juhabak introduced him being the letter A. Him and another was it Hashwal? Yeah, him and Hashwal talked about him being A, which stood for Almighty. And he brought up about omniscience. Now I was already thinking about for a while Ichibe's abilities, his darkness and whatever. The darkness, into the darkness. I'll get more into that in a second. More into this possible omniscience. But then I started thinking about Aizen Sosuke. And I started thinking about it, and like, you have the Soul King. And we learn about the Soul King, okay? At least a little bit of sprinkle, little grains of, okay, basic foundations, maybe. We don't know. We don't really know what is the Soul King, okay? We kind of get this, but we don't really know. Now we have Ukitake. Now it's prime time that we talk about this. And, you know, Ichigo, Kurosaki Ichigo should be Demigod level, or somewhere near that. But we'll see. But anyways, this whole thing about Demigod level and Godlike, okay? These abilities, man. Let's review, shall we? Aizen Shika. We haven't seen his Bankai, which is going to be outrageously powerful. So it'd be some mind control, like some Genjutsu, true, like, you know, Naruto, but like on some other level, like maybe some Tsukiyomi level stuff. It should be outrageous. Urahara's Shika and Bankai. Oh my goodness, I can only imagine what his Bankai gonna bring to the table. Okay, well, you look at Aizen. What do we know? His crazy perception altering ability. Okay, we look at the fact that the Hogyoku, if I'm saying it correctly, if I'm butchering, I'm sorry. But anyways, you know, the gem crystal kind of thing there that he, you know, has got up in him, that's made him pretty much immortal. Immortality is some godlike ability. Literally, it's godlike ability. Doesn't mean, now immortality is interesting because in fiction it's used in one of three ways. Number one, it truly means that you're immortal, meaning you will live forever. Number two, immortality means you cannot be killed. Your life can't be ended. Or number three, and that is different from living forever, because it could mean, in the case of, let's say, the gods and DC and Marvel. I know definitely in Marvel the gods can't actually be killed. They can actually be killed, but they're immortal. They will live forever, but they can be killed. Okay. Talking about the Olympians, the Asgardians, those such deities. Now, immortality's third function, besides living forever and the possibility of not being killed, is also slow aging. Now, we see this in several series. I know Magi Labyrinth of Magic, not to spoil, but it goes along those lines. Doesn't mean they're immortal, but it goes on. I mean, they age so slowly that the normal perception of humanity is these dudes live forever. I mean, let's say they live 10,000 years. To most beings who live at most 80, 100, 150, maybe even 200, 250, 300 years, someone who lives 10,000 years seems immortal. Okay? That's no joke. I mean, even 10,000 years in the grand scheme of things is a drop in the bucket, but 10,000, you know, 80 years to 10,000 years, that 80 years is a drop in the bucket. So, take that for what it's worth. Okay? Immortality. Now, look at Ichibe's abilities. Okay? Ichibe with his darkness, into the darkness, controlling darkness. Now, at first it's demigod level, and I'll show the difference between when it went godlike. Okay, the demigod was, he was controlling, And then even the changing of the name, kind of reality warping. That's a lot of he dealt with a lot of reality warping, shape shit, changing shape and all that jazz. But then, I'll add Oetsu in a second as well. Nehemiah Oetsu. But then, Ichibei did something very interesting. He brought the darkness from the future? What? He brought darkness from the future. That's time control. That's reality warping on the next. That's practically the highest degree of reality warping besides universal control. Okay, or multi-universal control. Omniversal control. That's like, excuse me. Oh yeah. But anyways, yeah, man. Time. He brought darkness from the future, man. That's a godlike ability. You have control over time to a degree. Come on, man. Doesn't mean he's a god, but that's a godlike ability. Oetsu, his ability, this thing just rips through things. Now it was more of a demigod level. How he was cutting, like the thing was so sharp it couldn't be sheathed. Let's take for example Zaraki Kenpachi. Okay, his is a beautiful example. His is, we don't know. It's either demigod level or it's godlike. And the difference is, if he literally can cut anything, talking about dimensional barrier cutting, once it goes into dimensional cutting through, making holes into the universe, into the fabric of time and space itself, we're getting into the other realms of reality. Now we're going godlike. At the moment, it's more demigod level. Cut through anything thrown his way, it could cut. But at the same time, if I recall correctly, wasn't he cutting space void? So if he's able to cut space, we're starting to get to more of that godlike ability. All right. Now let's go to Juhabak, omniscience. Now, is it truly omniscience? See, we have yet to see if it's truly omniscience. And let me bring this up. There's three things you must know: omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. Now, what it means to be omnipotent, and I've explained this in a couple of different videos I've done. One was a Bleach, I think, and one was Magi Labyrinth of Magic, I think, based on a couple of the most recent chapters. Yeah, I think Magi's most recent chapter and Bleach. It was either the last review or the review prior, the live review prior. But anyways, omnipotence means all powerful. Okay, it means pretty much what it is, all powerful. Omniscience gets a little bit confusing. Omniscience not so much. All knowing, all seeing, you know it all. Omnipresence is where it got a little bit dicey, because omnipresence means you're present everywhere simultaneously, or it means you're ever present. Like, there's a couple different ways. You're present to where you have, you're so there, your entities all over the place. It's not like you're there in every spot, but your presence is all around, like you're large enough. It's complicated, but yeah, omnipresence. But omniscience, knowing everything, past, present, future. You know every single thing that's going to happen, will happen, it has happened, is happening, everything. What level? Is it a limited level of omniscience? Does it have to do within range? Does it have to do particularly with himself, as well as certain other beings? Maybe other beings affected by his blood, or maybe beings he's seen. We haven't been fully acquainted with what level of omniscience we're talking about here. Okay. But lastly, 2 points. Soul King, this whole balancing act. Okay. We don't really know what the Soul King is, so we can hold off on that. But Ukatake, possession, okay? And this is definitely on some god level stuff, or at least demigod level, okay? Depends on the level of possession. In this case, an actual god, so it is godlike. When you look at it, at first, when in my live review, I was getting this vibe of Ashura, okay? I was close. It's not demonic possession what happened. His is a form of soul sacrifice. Pretty much, his parents prayed to this god, Mimi Haga. I believe it's Mimi Haga, if I remember correctly. Mimi Haga, and they're like, Mimi Haga-sama, Lord Mimi Haga, the right hand of the Soul King. Would you inhabit, become incarnate in our son, pretty much possess our son? But it wasn't demon possession, because it wasn't control over the entity, over Ukitake, but it allowed him to live healthfully as long as the god was present. As soon as the god leaves, he's dead because of his disease and whatnot. So you have the possession, and it allowed for all of that. So God was dwelling within the body of a mortal. Okay, it's very interesting. Like I said, it's a form of soul sacrifice, but not exactly complete soul sacrifice, because he didn't sell his soul. It was more of selling the body, kind of. It's weird, but without further going into it. Now, what may occur if we have omniscience? That's opening up the door for omnipotence, and if we have omniscience and omnipotence, we can go omnipresence. Whatever else, total world control, an illusionary reality. We're already starting to go there. An actual immortal being. Oh yeah, and I gotta also mention, how can I forget Yamamoto's Bankai? Yo, Captain Commander Yamamoto's Bankai. Flames as hot as the sun. We're talking solar powered stuff. So we're talking cosmic level potentially attached. We could have someone who has the ability of black holes along those lines. We could have someone who can literally warp reality itself to its very core. We could, in this case of the Soul King, his balancing act, it's kind of putting forth possibly an illusionary reality. And the reason I say that is I'm curious about how things were, the world was before the emergence of Soul Society, Waikomondo, the Dongai, as well as the quote-unquote human/real world. What happened? Like, everybody's scared, but apparently the Soul King was created, but then Juhabak said father. So we need some clarification. But pretty much a reality was created because of the balance of an entity. Strange, ain't it? Upgraded Kurosaki Ichigo. We also have one being in Juhabak giving out powers as well as taking them back and getting more powerful. That's another godlike ability, you could say. Where all could Kubo take this? Absolute zero. Rukia really gets to that level. Either her or Hitsugaya, possibly. Ichigo, he's, again, as I often say, Shinigami, Hollow, Fullbringer, Quincy. Shinigami, Quincy, Fullbringer, Hollow. People say human that's irrelevant to the point. He's all of this. So what he should be able to do, who knows? You can come up with your own theories and thoughts about possibilities, but literally Kubo's taking the demigod and god route at this moment. So what's left? What's possibly on the table? There's a lot of things that could be done. I'm just throwing out a couple, off the top of my dome, off the top of my head. You can think of the rest. Unexpected one, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me where you see some of these future abilities. And tell me what you think of Ichibei, Zaraki, Aizen. All these cats I mentioned in this video and their abilities. And how they impact the current standing of the Bleach world. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.